Well, I have 8:30. Stand and say the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Yes, microphones are on. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody here for public forum? I thought maybe somebody from not so much public forum, but from the HRA was going to be here, maybe.
That's probably me.
Oh, okay, that's you. Okay, that's good. Okay, number 4, consideration and approval of the agenda. Hearing nothing, we'll go to approval of the meeting minutes of June 24th.
Does someone want to approve the agenda though?
Yeah, okay, let's approve
Okay.
it. All right, thank you.
A second.
Josh,
Thank you.
Mayor, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, now 5.1, EDA minutes from the last meeting. Okay, we've all received those in our packet prior. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll second.
Okay, Mark. First, second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Okay, Josh, we usually let you handle the financials. Give us a
Update,
summary and update of what we have here. We can kind of go in order there.
Yeah, so the exciting thing with doing overall is we actually had a little bit more activity going on in the standard just loan payments because we got our first half of our allocated property tax payment. So and that was, you can see that on 201, that was $20,523. So for the entire month, we had actually a positive change in cash of $20,871, which was primarily property taxes and then obviously the loan payments. I noticed one typo here on the balance sheet that last CD listed there at the bottom for Stearns. We did renew that one for 1 year, so that should say 6/11/27, not 6/11/26.
Or did we go with 9 months?
That's the one that's maturing here.
Okay, that's the
The end of
next
this
one.
month, we approved a 9-month renewal.
Okay, all right, so that's 27.
Okay.
Yep. So if you look at the balance sheet here, if we go to the bottom, that shows the fund balances. So 201 had a fund balance of 153,265, 202, 71,660, 203, 387, 307 for an overall fund balance of 612,232. Like I said, the primary increase for that was our property tax payment that was allocated to us. So other than that, though, all payments are on time. Mia's actually paid in June, so nothing out of the ordinary.
Some small payments we made out as usual.
Yeah, and the check details there. So
Yeah,
like I said,
so 276.
yeah, it's the same old stuff. So
Time spent.
Yep.
Okay, are there any comments, questions, discussion on the financials? Okay, revolving loan fund update. Everybody's paid on time.
Everybody's paid
from
on
what
time.
I've seen, huh?
Yep. And same with the SCDP loans, everybody's paid.
Okay, all right. And Lakeside is on the agenda here on all business.
Yep.
So, okay, good. All right, any questions on that? STCP, that's all 22. Okay, we'll go to old business, 7.1, Lakeside Student Housing. Fred Stelter was here, last month. His property is cash flowing, basically like he thought it would or wished it would, wants it to. And, we know we have a balloon coming up here, into this month, or excuse me, into this year. Yeah, December 31st. So what is it, 50,000?
Yep, plus, yeah.
Is it not December 1st or December?
Well, balloons, well, he's gonna have an interest payment due December 1st, but then in balloons on December 30th. That to me doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, okay, so he asked for an extension in time. You know, he talked extensively about how he might get it to work out, you know. And I think there were some suggestions here by some people that, you know, kind of do a amortization schedule, or where he's paying something of the principal and not just extending the loan itself. And then just start out with that for discussion.
Yeah, so there was a committee meeting, Mark and Chad, and Mark and I briefly talked, and we were kind of in agreement based on the last discussion we had that we thought it'd be ideal to maybe just amortize the loan out over a period of 20 years. That way the EDA will start getting some principal back, and then we balloon it after 2 years based on Fred's expectation of hopefully having good enough cash flow at that time to essentially pay us out, right? Now with that, I just ran some high level amort schedules. But let me take a step back before we get to that. There was one concern that was brought up of seeing if we could even like I don't know if it's deemed a refinance, but restructure the note probably is a better term per RLF policy. I read through the policy and I didn't see anything that stated we couldn't. Now I didn't go to Minnesota statute and try to interpret that. So unless there's something in there that states we can't, I don't know. But the policy itself, there's nothing in there that appears to me that says we can't do that.
You know, retire one, make another.
Right.
Thing.
Well, I don't even know if we're really retiring it. We're just restructuring the terms.
Changing the term.
Yeah. So unless anybody else looked through that and saw something that contradicts what we looked at, but I didn't see anything.
Was the committee provided with the entirety of Mr. Stelter's financials, or just Lakeside's financials? Because I know at one point we were, as an authority, interested at doing the entirety of his financials to see if this was the easiest loan to push off, or if this was
we
desperate.
No, we didn't get the entirety of his financials. We just got what he provided there. And I guess I just wonder if it's one. And my personal concern is if we give him too much restriction, is it going to upset him?
It was something that was brought up.
Yeah, no, I'm the one that brought that up.
Yeah.
And then I kind of reconsidered. I'm like, well, maybe we just give him 2 more years, right? And you know, what's our alternative? Take that money and put it into another CD. You know, that's earning a lot lower rate of return than what we're currently getting on this loan anyway. So I kind of just backed off on that and maybe said maybe we press a little harder 2 years down the road, depending upon how his operations look. So
Are you proposing to keep the rate the same?
well, I don't know. I'm torn on that, right? So I actually, and here's the reason why. So I ran 2 amort schedules, and I can share this. I ran these on both to refi on 12/1, not 12/30, just because the interest payments due on 12/1. So it made sense for me to do that. Then 50,000, I ran one at 4%, which is its current rate. I ran one at 5%, which is 1% high. Okay, just for comparative purposes. Josh, why did you choose 5%? The way I view things is the 10-year treasury rate right now is 4.628%, or it was yesterday. That's the risk-free rate of return. Okay, so in theory, somebody can buy a 10-year treasury note, earn that rate of return, and they have no risk. A 20-year treasury, 5.149%. Okay, so I guess what My question is as a board, should we be loaning out money to these borrowers at a rate that's below the risk-free guaranteed rate that we get otherwise based on the term of that loan? That's my logic. Now, I realize we're not necessarily here to earn quote unquote a profit on this, right? Our loans have typically been sub-prime rates, but I think it's something worth a discussion, at least to say, you know, to me, it would make sense to at least charge what we'd be getting on prime. You know,
asking to extend it. You should pay a little bit more premium.
yeah, and truthfully, the payment difference at 4%, and I'm rounding the nearest dollar here, $303 a month versus $330 a month. So a $27 change payment per month, and at the end of the 2-year period, it's literally like a $330 difference in principal payoff. But you know, it does give us a little bit more interest. I'd have to do the math.
How much interest and principal do we make over the 2 years?
Well,
Or
at what rate?
however you want. I don't care, 5%.
At whatever the historic.
Yeah, so at the 5%, I'm just gonna round here,
Yeah.
2,520, so about 4,800 at 5% we would.
Of interest.
Of interest, and then 2,000, and about just under 4,000 at 4%.
How much principal does he get knocked off the 50 grand?
Not a lot. I mean, and again, I'm rounding. It's going to still be worth about 47 grand every 2 years.
Right.
But at least it's $3,000 of taxpayer money that's back, you know. And we could certainly restructure. I mean, we could look at a 15-year AM. But I think that's just one thing that we brought up, and he didn't seem to be too concerned with it. And if cash flow is a concern, right?
Did he indicate to us, or am I just thinking he did that he could afford an extra 500 a month? Or
I-
no, or
well,
did anybody hear that? Or
I
Just say you did a 15-year ad. And you did it on your phone. And he thought that payment was fine.
No, I think it was a 20-year AM, so they did. Because we wanted to keep the annual payments similar, I think, to what he's paying $2,000 a year now. And at that 4%, you know, he's gonna be paying about 3,600 plus a year. Not quite double. If we went to 5%, it would practically.
He was
be
saying that basically once he had some arrangement with the community college, and once that was, you know, taken care of, he would start paying the actual rent on the daycare center, and then he said there's more opportunity for him to do stuff. Once that was like 50,000 a year.
Yeah, and I lost him when he was talking about that, honestly.
So I got
couldn't
that.
follow. So,
That'll improve his,
60,000.
yeah, it'll improve
That's
his
what I,
cash flow.
right,
I got
but
the,
that was about a year or two down the line too.
Like,
too, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why we're structured this way.
I think Doug brought up, go 2-year balloon then.
Yeah.
Just to coincide with that supposed to hit.
Right. So we're not committing for a long term, although the payment schedule is calculated over a long term, but, I don't know, that's our proposal. I reached out with Chad
So
at HRA, he liked.
you like that?
So-
Good. That's where I was thinking maybe he'd show up.
Yeah, we discussed it yesterday.
Good.
Chad's out of town this week, but we discussed it yesterday at HRA, and sounded like everybody was in favor, but we just wanted to make sure we're moving whatever EDA and council decides to do is what HRA decides to do.
Right. So am I kind of hearing, proposed restructuring this loan to a 2-year amortization balloon?
Not,
Yeah, 2 years. The balloon, what, December 2028?
yeah, it'd be December 2028 is when it will.
Yeah.
If we restructure, we do the refi on December 1st, which to me makes sense, since that's when it's, so I'd
Yeah.
pay us the $2,000 on December 1st, and then we'll restructure it such that you're,
Right, because we gotta get the 2,000
yeah,
for what we're loaning now.
and then his monthly payments will just start. January 1st. of
They
20.
start January 1st of 2027.
Yeah.
Then you got two years from then, it would balloon. And we're proposing 5%.
That's up for discussion. I
I
don't
don't-
necessarily.
I don't think, whether it's, what is the payment, 330 compared to 340 or what is it?
330 to 303 roughly.
Yeah, whatever, I don't think.
You know, I think when we set these up initially, the intent is to offer a low cost boost to a business that's requesting it. But I also think when we get to the point where, and I'm not saying this about Fred, I'm just saying it in general. When we get to the point we're at now where it's like, okay, you're asking us to step in and restructure this because you can't meet your obligation. I think the optics of keeping that at 4 are much worse than raising it to 5. And if anybody were to question, well, why is this particular credit getting special treatment? Well, we're raising the rate.
Yeah.
To reflect that, and I kind of like the idea of going up on that, just for that point.
I don't think Fred's gonna bar a 5% rate or whatever. If we just say we're gonna price it at whatever the 20-year treasury is at that time.
Or even, maybe even a 10-year term, that's kind of consistent with what the max out of our loan policy is. You know, so maybe 10-year would be better. You know, and you have to look at Fred's age. He's no spring chicken, and so how would it say 5, 6, 8 years down the road if there's an ownership change to this whole thing? How's that going to affect things? You know, so we can try to accelerate him to actually come and pay it off. I think that makes sense.
Well, I got the intent that he wants to pay us off. That's the information I got. Now, to me, that doesn't make any sense. If you want my honest to God opinion, because from a business owner, if I have a loan here at 4%, I mean, what's a commercial loan now? Probably 7 plus, I would guess.
Not 4.
Even if it's 50,000, I just wouldn't refinance it. Why would you? Why pay more interest than necessary?
I think, Mike, what I would see as an ideal situation is we do the 2-year term and the amortization is 15 or 20.
I propose 20, but we can
So we
recalculate.
do the 2-year term at 20, but then at the end of that 2-year term, we're he's probably not gonna be in a position to pay it off, but he is gonna be in a position where he's gonna have a lot more money.
Yeah, he just
And then we
commit to
And then we
returning
can
some
maybe shorten
capital.
that down at that time to 5 or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
And if you can't, then this project's in trouble. I'm still
Yeah.
surprised that this isn't. I'm still amazed that there's still 7 units that have
Well,
furniture in there.
Yeah, he needs to move that crap out and fill
I
the
don't-
place out.
But I don't think that's the real deal. He's got all kinds of vacant rooms anyways. So who cares about those 7 rooms that are full of furniture? You got 30 more rooms to fill out.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's schematics,
And maybe, the admission is higher this year for Pine Tech. Maybe he picks up 5 or 10 renters. It'd be nice to know, the admission that's coming in, is it a 30-mile radius? Who actually, the students that need places to live? It'd be nice to know that number from the college, as far as their.
Well, I'm sure they got all those statistics also.
Then we can.
I mean, we know, was somebody else at that tour that I was at just the week before the EDA meeting. But anyways, I was on another tour of the technical college, the whole facility. And, that was just us manufacturers. And they were, again, expounding, bragging about their, the growing, attendance, number of students.
And based on that, I wonder if Freddie puts in projections of what he thinks is gonna happen for end of 26 and 27, and all of a sudden, we work in the projection business. What does that go? So can you pay us more? Or, how?
Projections are worth.
Well, yeah.
But you can, it might be easier in this situation because you can have the release possibly in September.
Yeah.
Well, we always heard the drawback that the reason they couldn't get more students was because there was no housing. So, now that, Fred's come along and provided that,
Just for discussion. There was talk that he may have to change the spirit of the housing itself and go away from student housing and go to potentially allowing other people to live there. Do we need to put a stipulation on this loan amortization that if that changes, that the loan would need to be repaid in full at that time because it's changing the spirit and nature of what the loan was intended for, student housing, to a more for-profit model?
Well, I think certainly that would reduce our risk if he's doing everything he can to generate cash flow, right? So to me, I don't think that's a deal breaker per se. I see the intent is probably changing, but I don't know. I mean, did we give the loan strictly for student housing? Was that the sole intent?
that's how it started out.
Well,
That's the only thing that was
maybe that's the
presented
sole-
at
yeah,
that
the
time.
spirit of the agreement was for that.
And this, maybe and the other thing is just to do something with that Albatross building, that we don't really want to
Right.
stay empty.
You're right, because that just caused
That's the
a whole
other one.
nother blight problem.
Changing the spirit of it, is that between him and, Pine Tech?
Well, he
As
just,
far as their
I think it's gonna be his call. He just kind of made because I got the impression that he was really relying on Pine Tech to basically market this housing for him. I don't know how much like marketing he's doing himself, and he basically said, if there's not enough demand generated out of that, I'm gonna have to do something else, i.e. basically turn this into a mixed type.
Remember him saying something about like, EMTs, firefighters, cops and teachers, kind of a
Yeah.
landing
did say
spot
that.
for.
Okay.
Just again, just for discussion with the loan, that if that was to happen, he's gonna have to go through an entire process for a conditional use permit with the city, and that would have to be, that's the only reason I'm asking, because everything that's been put in place that's legally and binding would have to be redone. So would the loan be one of those things as well, because of the intent of the project?
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, but it's we're only going out 2 years.
Yeah.
I think if we were going out, 10 years amortization, and then maturity, it'd be a different deal. But
Ask a question.
please,
So college starts in roughly 3 weeks. The next EDA is the end of August. Would it be worthwhile to invite him back and see where his numbers are? He should have an idea for the fall semester by that point.
Yeah, we could certainly ask him. I don't know
if that accomplishes much. I mean, you're basically, you can just wait until we get towards December. Numbers are gonna be the same.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if they're signing one, I'm assuming.
I mean, it's not like it's gonna necessarily do anything, if he comes back a second time.
but if we do want to meet with them, it has to be, November anyways, at the latest.
I think if we just.
Yeah, I think
If we
maybe,
just reach out to him just to give us a little update, without his physical presence would be fine.
Just a verbal occupancy.
Yeah. To show him that we're paying attention.
well, so we're really not gonna do any action on that today, is what I'm hearing after all this discussion.
Would you like a request for council action to be put together for EDA that could be presented on the next agenda for you to approve, change, alter, and then move to the council? Because it does have to go to council, so we have to think,
Right.
it's still July, but then it's August, then it's September, and then we need to, it's gonna go quickly.
So do we want to? Do we want to make a motion then on what we're trying to do here? The council has a directive, so they don't come up with something else.
I guess I'm comfortable saying we restructure the note on a 2-year balloon, 20-year amp. The interest rate, I don't know if that really matters. I don't know
Whatever
why
it
that- Yeah, we can make, but at least,
So it's just done.
no, that's what I'm suggesting. That's what I would recommend we do. That way we don't have to mess with it.
And I'm all for greater than 5%.
Yeah.
So
I think
Okay, you wanna make that a formal
Sure.
motion, Josh?
I'll make a formal motion that we restructure the note, on December 1st. 20-year AM, 2-year balloon, 5% rate. Monthly payments.
Okay, motion by Josh.
Second.
Second,
Everybody second.
okay, second by, non-banker here, Mike. Any discussion?
And then the city, who's responsible? I'm always confused, like who's responsible for drafting up and doing the AMRID schedule and the modification to the note and all that type of stuff? Who's responsible for that?
Would you like, the city can do that. The city can write up a request for council action from the EDA that I would prefer you to approve before going to council, along with a chart. The,
AMRID chart?
yeah, you said 20 years,
20-year
5%, 2-year balloon.
2-year balloon.
Bring all that back to the next EDA meeting for you to approve all that. Then it'd go on the, we still have plenty of time for it to go to council agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
One opposed, motion carried. All others in favor.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have here? Lakeside,
7.2.
7.2, discussion schedule, goal setting, EDA work session.
This was just put on, I kind of created this worksheet because you've made discussions about wanting to get a current strategic planning. So the attached is a worksheet of just ideas to think about. We don't have to do anything with it now, but I thought this would get the wheel turning on how you think we could put together EDA's updated strategic plan. If you're interested in having a work session or just keep it on here and moving it forward, so we have it ready for by end of year.
Is this something that's like handed out? Is this something for us to fill out or for the community to fill out? Commissioner staff.
Well, the business survey would kind of followed along with this, didn't it?
Yeah, and I can attach that next time too, the last business survey.
Yeah, we had,
Should be down on 7.4.
Oh, did I?
right, it kind of goes part and parcel of this thing, doesn't it?
Oh, is that
There
what
was
they
about
filled out?
10 or 12
Yeah.
businesses
Oh, I
that
got
filled it out. That was sent out by the chamber twice, if I remember correctly. Well, I know it was. Period. And that's,
Gotta get a lot of response.
it didn't get much response. A lot of effort put into it. Some people were well aware, some people were, were not aware of much of anything. A lot of them wanted startup money.
It's something we can just keep bringing back, but just wanted to get it on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really great starting point, mind mapping tool.
Right, to even think of things you wouldn't normally, I thought it was pretty good. Pick the brain.
Absolutely.
But no time constraints right now. So.
And we're going through this at HRA as well right now, us getting our strategic plan.
Yeah, trying to see how far we can take it on our own and not have to contract services to pay someone to help us do that when we have
We'll do
really great
that.
minds and move it along ourselves, see how far we can take it ourselves.
I did a little poking around for those contract services and they're not inexpensive.
Okay.
No.
I was very.
I don't even like about that.
Of what dollar amount were you seeing now?
Many that I saw were 3,000 to start. And then depending on hours and input and
Could be north of
there was some that were about this, the jumping on point that I was able to.
Unnecessary, honestly. We have enough brain power in Pine
I
City,
fully agree.
although sometimes I kind of question that, but we can probably handle that.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, everybody keep that in mind as we move along. Anything else on the 7.2?
Oh, that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay. 7.3, July 2026 resolution 2026-04 approved 6/4/26 update rate.
So the resolution was already approved last meeting, but
Yep.
I was hoping you had an updated rate for the one that's getting renewed, and then I'll bring this over to.
You know what it is there?
Let's turn,
9 months.
I think 375,
Julie.
have your phone.
Yeah, it's just on the website there. We can, I can email Julie or Doug and talk to her. I know. I know we agreed to keep it there.
I think you took the 9 month availability off. Remember when we sat down? I think they just discontinued that just recently.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
I mean, I'm not saying when we bought it, it was discontinued.
So are we able to do a 9 month?
Oh, in that case, we wouldn't.
Well, then what do we gotta do for a resolution?
You, maybe you wanna call Doug? Why don't you, there you are. Yeah.
And I know we
You
can
know
get
the
one
number?
for Hanson for 9 months. I just don't know. the rate.
I think it is
16,
God, mine's got up at
7,
Trying to remember, did the resolution specify the bank?
It did, I thought it's got, we can read on Stearns. I mean, last time.
Yeah, but I don't know if the resolution does.
Oh, well then, okay.
Julie? Hey, did we discontinue 9 month TD? Okay, so what is available then? 6 and 12? Okay. 3, 6, and 12.
Yeah, I think we want to stick at 9 though for that latter.
What's that?
It's not available there.
Correct. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Do you wanna get the interest rate?
Well, I know we can go in at Friends and get Tristan's number.
okay,
Let's look and see.
I left my phone in the back too. I'm almost positive we have
That's what I
3.5 or 3.75, but I don't know the
Yeah.
terms.
I have her
well,
cell phone
okay,
number.
how quick can that
Huh?
happen?
I have her cell phone number.
What's the bank number? Can you think of it?
25.
2561.
I think, does this mature the end of?
July, yep, July
End of
31st. For ball.
Change everything. Yeah. Then we gotta go some papers over there.
Well,
Would
no,
we
we
try
gotta
to be
take
ahead
some
of
papers to get it out.
I mean, call Tricia. Always a pain.
Very short.
That's the way it is.
No, the bank's not on there. Bank is not mentioned on the resolution. Oh, and it says. So the term needs to be changed.
3 to 7.5.
Cause the new one says 9 months. It doesn't even have the,
Is that, what's the likelihood of
it doesn't have the, doesn't have anything on here, doesn't have the bank, it doesn't have
Just the amount.
the amount. Yeah,
I thought we just mentioned that. Wanted to go to 9 months as to how
Mhm.
maturing.
how
Right.
quickly?
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
We wanted to get it laddered,
Yeah. Like an every 3 months thing.
because once it gets laddered, then you can just
Expenses.
Thank you.
so they're gonna have to.
Term, the bank location, the rate.
We'll make
Yeah,
an
we're gonna
exception
have
and
to
do
add
a
that,
9
that they're gonna have to
three
come in and sign
seventy-five.
it.
Okay, hold on here. Okay. Doug, you wanna just,
We'll offer that 9 months at 375.
Oh, okay.
so you wanna know the interest rate, there it is, 375. So you asked for, right?
For 9-month term. At Stearns.
Yep.
Got it.
We're just rolling that one. Josh, we got a 9 month.
And it's currently a 9
Okay,
month.
sounds good, thanks.
Isn't it currently? Oh, so it's rolling.
But the problem is, the product's not available.
Right. So are you able to do that then?
We can do the 9 months, but I think it's gonna be it's gonna be treated as a new CD. Would be my expectation.
Okay,
So it's not just gonna automatically roll. I need to verify that,
okay.
how that works. But,
So we'll have everything ready for it to be either a rollover or
Yeah.
bring in the paperwork to show that the committee approved the 9 month. Okay,
Franson has the same rate, so I wouldn't mess with moving, it doesn't make sense. Like,
okay.
Okay, good to know.
so speaking of that, I know we're hopping around, but should we just go to 8.2? Since we're talking about CDs and
Fine
stuff.
with me. Okay, draft, yeah, well, that'd be appropriate time to talk about Pine City Economic Authority
Can we
CD
take a vote real quick?
resolution.
Could everyone please vote that you are doing this?
Okay. Get a motion to, buy or roll over a $50,000 CD, 9 month, 3.75% at Stearns Bank, right? I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second by Ken.
I'll abstain from that vote.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
With, Dan abstaining.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, that's your brother. Yeah, so that passed.
Yes,
Right, okay. All right, so we got that. So let's talk about let's skip down to 8.2, the resolution.
yeah, so
Did you propose this?
this was actually brought up a while ago.
Yep.
And it didn't really gain any traction, and
That's right.
you know, managing these TDs, especially if we're gonna start laddering them every 3 months, I just think it's a lot of work to get the approval and have a special, it's, to me, it's quite frankly
Too many
ridiculous. So,
logistical.
yeah, so I got some help, I believe, from Leslie, and we drafted up this resolution to manage CDs. And you can read through it, but the big thing is if you start reading on the bottom of page 1, going on to page 2 here, it just basically says, officers of the EDA who are currently authorized by the board resolution to sign financial instruments on behalf of the EDA are hereby authorized to manage CDs held in the name of the EDA, including the authority to renew existing CDs upon maturity, including at different terms, rates, or maturities, add additional EDA funds to a renewing CD or into a new CD, purchase new CDs at a qualified financial institution, transfer, move funds from maturing or redeemed CDs to other authorized financial institutions for reinvestment into CDs, and execute all documents necessary to carry out these actions. I sent this off to the 2 primary financial institutions we work with, Stearns Bank and Franson. They both said they would accept this. And to me, this would significantly streamline the CD renewal process if we have the signed resolution. We won't have to go through this process every single time.
Right,
And
it
it's
takes
just
up
not-
half the meeting,
Yeah.
and all you're trying to do is renew a CD.
And obviously, we still have to approve what we're gonna do at the board and stuff. It's not like anybody's just gonna go out and do anything, but I just
Right.
don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do this.
That, it doesn't say that in the resolution.
What?
It doesn't say that it would have to be approved by the board. It gives one person the ability to do anything they want. with
And I
the-
don't know if that falls in line with the bylaws.
Officers of the EDA who are currently authorized by the board resolution to sign financial instruments on behalf of the EDA are hereby authorized to manage CDs held in the name of this EDA.
So it wouldn't go before the whole committee as a whole, though. Doesn't state that.
Well, we can add that one, I guess.
And in this case, if it was, if it was something that you were responsible for and you were moving it from or even doing with Franzen, that would be a built-in conflict of interest without any sort of oversight, perceived or actual.
So if we just added
Well, you
someone,
could preface it, say, you know, at the direction of the EDA board, officers of the EDA, blah, blah, blah. That type of thing.
yeah, or with the approval of the
Yeah.
EDA board or something, yeah, I mean, we can modify it, Dan, I think, to,
We send this off to
Mhm.
city attorney and see, get some notes from him and bring it back to the next meeting and see.
Mhm. And I'll send the bylaws as well.
And then you gotta tell them the purpose of this.
Mhm.
We're laddering CDs constantly.
right,
The city must not have any money to do CDs, or how do you guys handle
We have
it?
CDs, we typically just roll them over, so we don't put as much time and thought as the EDA does, so.
So is that voted on at council meetings then?
Through the finance director, she gets updated on when things are coming.
So there is no approval by the city council what you guys are doing with your CDs?
Managed by staff.
Well, we're quasi staff.
that is true.
So I guess if you're gonna bring it to the attorney, you gotta try and tell him what we're trying to do here.
Mhm.
Not rewrite this whole.
Yeah, we don't, yeah,
I just provide some clarity and he can provide his.
Larry, this is what we'd like to accomplish. If you gotta add a paragraph in your sentence, do it.
Yeah, and you're
How do we
looking
do
for.
Don't spend $3,000, $4,000 on these guys. It just
No,
goes
you're
on
looking for
forever.
a cursory review of what you've already established, just making
And
sure.
what
we're not-
we're trying to do.
Yeah, and not have to rewrite it.
Yeah, which is basically outlined in A through E there, I think is what we want to do, right? Just streamline this process.
Streamline the process. Make sure it's all legal and,
Yeah, just making sure accountability is still there.
yeah,
and that there's not-
accountability's still there, and that we're not, the one single person isn't just
Correct.
going.
Yeah, Franson did say, and we correct, they just did want minutes that just reiterated who the authorized signers were.
Yeah,
They want those, which I'm fine with.
right.
It's- You're still, it's still falling on the shoulders of the EDA
Correct.
to provide changes when changes occur.
Yeah, it even says there in section 3, it is the responsibility of the EDA to ensure the bank is notified of any changes to the above statutes and/or policies, so.
Would we need any additional verbiage in case we had to say, you know, an immediate pressing need to actually liquidate a CD midterm?
I would think action through this board here, we would work, you know. We have to recognize that. I think if you're liquidating a CD,
That's gonna.
that's a big
that's
deal.
gonna-
It is.
That's gonna definitely
Yeah.
require,
Just very special circumstance.
yeah, that could happen. Be nice if it did.
Unlikely, but.
Be nice if it did.
I just feel that the way that it's set up now, there's so few CDs that we have, that if we are managing our finances and managing our authorities, that we can be far enough ahead. If it comes up, if 2 months ahead of time we're talking about it, we approve it the next month,
I guess my case in point is this though, right now that we're just dealing with, we approved the renewal of the 731 CD last month. Thinking we were gonna renew a 9-month with Stearns,
That didn't exist.
but it did, but now it doesn't.
And now they're making a special exception for the EDA to
Right,
have that
And that's
product that's not available to the public.
right.
It's,
So I guess my point is now, if we had this resolution, we could be talking about this maturing CD today. I could get current rates, and then we could just make the approval and be done with it, versus making these
Yeah.
decisions based
And then have
on
to come
comebacks. Yeah,
Well, then you better get the one that maturing in October. Better start talking about that one.
right. And
absolutely.
I just think it's.
And you gotta talk about it 2 months before you know what the rate is.
Right. That's my.
Not that they're
It's
changing
not
much.
too far in advance, because you'll know what you want to do. You'll want it, is it gonna be a 6-month, a 3-month, a year?
What are the rates gonna be? I think that's what's gonna could drive that decision though, right?
Yeah, but that could be filled in at that meeting though, too, we have the resolution signed.
September. If it's October, if we talk about it in August, make a decision in September, and then October we're able to.
And
vote.
even.
So let me ask you this, what's the concern with this resolution? If it gets approved by the attorney and everybody, what's the concern of approving this?
Well, if the attorney approves it and they think it's fine, I just worry about. First, I want to make sure it doesn't go against our bylaws. And then second is like, as long as it's coming back to the committee and we reword it to say that
Right.
it's just not this handful of signers making decisions for the group. That's what makes me
Yeah, if
concerned.
it's approved by the
Yeah.
board,
Mhm.
yeah, then what would be the concern, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always brought back to the board, so we'd have to just reword the resolution.
Yeah.
Because right now, I read it as signers have full control over what they do.
And I
which
can,
makes
I
me
can add
nervous.
that verbiage into 1 year before we send it off. If you
Yeah, I
want.
think you
You
should.
know, just add the direction and approval of the EDA board, officer of the EDA are currently on, Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll just add that beginning.
Yeah,
And then
and then pass it on.
I can email that out to you, Marcy.
Sure, sure.
That'd be
And then-
really good, I
See.
think.
Yeah,
Thank you,
what-
Josh.
It just, for me, I think it's important that because we're dealing with public taxpayer funds, and anything that's being done with public taxpayer funds needs to be discussed and available in an open meeting format so that the public.
And it will be,
though.
it
That's
will
what
be.
I'm saying.
Right, there'll be.
Stating my,
Nobody said it would not be.
as it sits now, that it
Yeah.
does. Yep.
This was a proposed resolution for discussion.
Yep, okay, so do you guys want me to email, anything else? Do you want me to email that off once I update it, or are we comfortable just if I put that?
I think update,
Comfortable?
yeah,
send it
I'd
off
be
to
comfortable,
Marcy.
yeah, send it
Yeah,
off to
and then I can
Marcy,
get that off immediately.
Okay, I'll do that.
see if we can, get this figured out here to make things a little bit easier.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, no, that's fine. But we're set on the other one that matured. Or is
I think we're
mature,
good to
that did mature,
Yeah.
Will be.
will be,
Yeah.
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 I think it's 31st, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, good, thank you.
Yeah, 7/31.
So now you're back to 7-4.
All right. Any more discussion on the revolving loan, discussion on increasing loan amounts?
So I reviewed the RLF policy and it does state in there, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, but it does state basically a maximum loan amount of 50,000, but that can be changed basically based on facts and circumstances for each borrower. So I think it's already in there.
Where do you find that? Policy?
This is one dated 17 inches.
Keep in mind too, that was made up years and years ago.
These are changed a little bit.
Yeah, things have changed, you know.
Yeah, that was like 8 years old.
You know, you go to Ad Scott,
Oh, this
you
is-
know, they're adding 12
This is the one.
employees. Something like that, I read in the paper, $3 million addition, and you say, oh, look at us, we got 50 grand, whatever.
It's dated the same.
Well, strategically, for the authority, in my opinion, it allows us, as we're thinking about a strategic plan, to build that in there. So as we're going into our budget book and looking at what we're gonna be asking the taxpayers for money.
This was
Kind
a
of like,
Okay.
we're using this money, we're expanding, making more programming available, dollar as far as a strategic
This was
vision.
in 23.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we revised, but never got adopted.
Okay, well then what the heck is this one?
That's this prior,
Okay,
okay?
Okay.
But when we revised this, we omitted that 50,000.
well, no, it states, it's in there, but it says, I
Yeah,
just
but
read it.
It's not,
The maximum loan amount of any loan shall be in the amount of 50,000. However, an increased amount may be considered by the EDA on a case-by-case basis.
what's the, what are the? Is it? Let's look at that side.
Under, it should be right in the place or above place of business. Page 7 or 8.
Which one do you have as our LF policy? What's it dated?
Oh, I didn't pull it. Nope.
It's,
Have it.
well, it's,
You should pull that up to make sure we're all on the same page, please.
I got
Okay.
7517, which I'm not so sure that's,
Well, the problem is, when we revised this, Mike Gainer was involved. And my thoughts are this revised copy never got adopted.
I believe that.
7517 is what's on the city's website.
right. Boy, if you go down to page though, I know he's talking about one thing, but if you go down to page, on the 7 or 8,
On page 8.
right there at the bottom of that first paragraph. Yeah,
However, the increased amount may be considered by the EDA on a case-by-case basis.
I don't think we need to reword it at all.
So
Fine.
are
And
you,
it was approved.
Well,
you
what I,
agree then that one got changed?
no, what I'm saying is, we're looking at the policy that's in place. But in 2023, it was Josh and I, maybe Sydney
Yeah,
and Mike did a revision that never got adopted. So that is the policy that's in place now. The question I have is, do we want to adopt this new one?
And what's the difference between that?
There's some
Striking.
minor things stricken out. I mean, this I think is a prevalent copy.
And I can forward that to, and we
That
can
would be
send that
great.
off to read. I
Yeah.
don't know. If we
Yeah,
should.
this has just got some red line.
but
stuff
I think maybe if that would be emailed to all of us, then we can put it on. Make sure that when we email this out, this is, a draft copy. It doesn't all of a sudden become the new
Yeah,
resolution on the website, but this is what we did.
But what
So at
I'll,
least we can discuss it next month. If we like the changes, we can adopt it, or
I'll just probably forward it to you and then you
Yeah.
can send it off. So we
Perfect.
know what's coming.
I still think, just for discussion, I still think that raising that dollar amount in paperwork could be beneficial to potential people that are looking to come to Pine City for business, because if they're researching and doing their diligence on what
Yeah.
type of programming is available, if they see 50,000 and special circumstances available, that may deter someone. If it's at 100,000 or 150, whatever the case may be, I know that the way the policy is written, we can right now, but just for optics, I guess.
What,
Something to consider.
let's just continue that optics for a minute here. What if we put 150,000? I'm just exaggerating, 200,000. That, boy, if I'm looking at cities and I'm bringing 20 employees and I need some money, because I'm investing a lot of my own money, that's what the bankers like. Jesus, my eyes, yeah.
It
The
doesn't mean
city
we have,
can actually do something.
it doesn't mean we have to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dan, I think you bring up.
It would have to be a pretty strong proposal
It
to
would-
do it.
Right.
Eh,
Yeah, they could come to
Absolutely.
us and want 200, we say, okay, here's 30, you know?
Right, and that's okay.
Then it falls under the baseline and not a special consideration.
But it's
In
gonna
my
attract.
What do you mean by
Then,
that?
then.
Whereas if it's at a 50,000, if somebody wanted
Oh.
200,000.
Yeah,
special
I see what you're saying.
And you put in there up to 150,000. So you have that number sitting there. And it's an up to number.
Right, yeah, it definitely have to be up
So you're
to.
gonna have to show some pretty good finances and a good business plan, everything like this, before we get close to 150.
Yeah, so if we just change it, you know, but that's kind of the maximum loan, any loan shall be in the amount of maximum money loan shall be in the amount of whatever we put in there, 150 or whatever. However, special circumstances or whatever. I think if we just change that number, it'll accomplish what you're saying.
Yeah, just one optics of, there could be 150 grand available, whatever that.
Yeah, or more, right? Depending upon the fact, I don't think we'd ever do that, but I see what Dan's saying. It's like, it might,
Well, yeah, I've brought this up before, 50 grand just isn't what it used to be.
right? Now, I've said this before, but I just don't, we have, in the RLF specifically, we have 182,000 in cash, or excuse me, we have 270,000 in cash and CDs, of which 87,000 is liquid right now, right? So we just gotta be mindful of, right, the availability of cash that we have. So the last thing I want is a borrower to come here and say,
But-
hey, I want,
But usually those things take several months
that's true.
before you would hand out the money.
Yeah, I suppose. if we
You
have
know what I'm saying?
maturing right
And that's
now.
the reason, the ladder, another reason, the ladder, because it takes 3 months of due diligence before you'd ever give out any substantial amount, right?
So what dollar amount do we say? 100? I mean, is that enough to peak interest?
I'd say the more the merrier.
I like 150, 200, somewhere in there. And again, for me, just
Let's have a typo, $1 billion.
Unlimited.
in my opinion, for the long-term health of the authority, again, that builds in strategically to allow us to levy, to show taxpayer and the people that, we're trying to attract whatever we can. We've got space available, we've got land available through the city. We're really throwing out all the resources that are available to us to continue to try to attract different levels of
I definitely like put a bigger number there, 150 to 200.
Yeah, I like 200, that,
Such
that
a nice round
that's a right round number. And, I do talk to, potential interested parties every once in a while, and they're kind of snooping around, and they have a business down in the cities and, how's the labor pool up there? Well, it's no better here than there's down there, but whatever. Well, yeah, is there any money up there? I mean, right away, it's kind of tax abatement, no tax, sewer, water, you want startup money too. But anyways, the point was that the bigger the number, the more, the bigger fat you can kind of carry. Makes more sense to me.
Well, and somebody potentially doing a project too can use that in their preliminary financial planning too, trying to attract capital, like X, Y, Z, P, Q. Again, just
Should we just, so since we're gonna look at the draft anyway, should we just probably just incorporate that change?
Yeah, why don't
In
you
the draft, does that make sense? Since we're gonna talk about it.
incorporate that in the draft? What are you thinking, Doug? Think that gets a little scary?
Well, I mean, assuming you have 2 qualified candidates that come along, potentially you could drain what you got on 2 candidates.
Yeah,
I don't really like that. You're putting all your eggs in 2 baskets, thing.
We gotta realize
But-
too, we have the discretion, right?
Right.
To realize that, yeah.
But I mean, if, like I said, if 2 candidates come in, they're good, okay. okay, we'll do 150 apiece. We spent our money now. And that's fine, I mean, that's what the money's there for. is to spend it. But one or both of those goes bad.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Well,
You've got a real concentration.
yeah, the in tandem argument then with that is that we need to increase our ad valorem rate to the max so that we can build that money so that we can do these things, you know,
I mean,
so
that's,
that, yeah,
when they would arise.
yeah.
again, as long as we have the discretion that, you know, if I'm a business owner and I'm pretty proud of what I do, and I come to you and say, I want 150, and you come back and say, oh, we're gonna do 50.
It's on you.
How impressed am I with Pine City?
Yeah, not,
So, I mean, I get it.
It could be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, there's,
Well, there's some double-edged sword there too.
and ultimately, we have to make judgment calls on proposals. It's part of what we do. Not everybody's gonna get the money or be worthy of the money.
I mean, I guess it's a bad, if we had an issue where if we bumped up this number and it magically generated a ton of interest where we were essentially fully funded out, and there's another business that wants to come borrow money, we don't have it, I guess, I'm sorry, right? We
Right,
accomplished our goal. Yeah. Right?
yeah, that might be the best problem we ever had.
Right.
I'd be too.
We have to start.
Right.
Two businesses coming in.
And then it, I think it probably becomes more like you said, maybe it's going back to the
We
city
have
and
to
saying,
try
hey,
to work to build capital.
Yeah.
right?
So.
yeah,
Okay, let's change it in that, the
the draft.
200 to the, and the draft, and we can all think about this.
Yeah. Okay. 200, yeah.
And then we'll discuss that draft for possible adoption next month. Okay, going along with RFL discussion, business city survey. In a different minute.
I think that was all this stuff.
That was just backup for what had been done. I think Leslie forwarded that to Kent.
Yep.
So we could have record of it.
Right. So, Tabitha, you reached out to Leslie, find out about land surveys, and
Yes, for the Orvis property.
lo and behold, we had some.
There's a lot of documentation.
So,
All of that documentation was with your guys' request for council action. They sent myself, Public Works, Fire and Life Safety, or Fire and Life Safety, out to go view the property. We went out, it was extremely hard to see. I understand you guys want to get it graded out. With some of the land surveys and stuff that did come in, there is specific natural wildlife and things that cannot be disturbed up there. It was extremely hard to get around. You guys are going to pay significantly more in order to get it just cleared before even graded. You guys are able to watch the video that we had drone footage. We had somebody come out and drone it for us and show how thick it really is in there. It is extremely thick. There's still a camper up there. There's bikes, there's concrete pads, there's fencing, barbed wire fencing.
they've been adding to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff up in there. So then we with bringing all that to council. Council directed us to sit together and put together a plan for clearing and potentially burning it off, a controlled burn, and looking at it that way. They did include Outlot A in that. So,
Which, yeah, that's to the south.
yes, it's extremely hard to know exactly where that property line is with how thick it is in there. Like, all of a sudden, we were
Well,
going
we
along,
don't
going
have to turn
along.
off Outlot A
Right.
either, right?
So we're gonna have specific brush clearing done, and then have a controlled burn. We have to that was the direction for us to put a plan together with expenses that we'll be bringing back to council. Once we have council decision, then we'll come back to you guys and let you know what is.
Would our fire department do the controlled burn?
They would be
There
able
wouldn't
to,
be much charge there then.
And Jason from Public Works was talking about a rental forestry head on a skid steer, I believe. That they would have the labor ability to perform the work themselves, so the cost would be fairly low.
Well, it would only.
Oh, you mean to attach that to our kids here, when I say our, Pine Systems.
Correct. Or if the one that we have isn't, it doesn't work for the terrain, they may have to rent a machine, but that's part
Oh,
of
I see.
yes.
Well,
that
they
is-
go through with their brush cutter.
But the longer we wait, the worse this is gonna
Sure,
get, and the
right.
more expensive it's gonna get, right? So
Right, so that's why we're hoping, so currently our fire chief is out this week. We're setting a meeting for next week so that we can get some answers and figure out when. They did say fall is the best for controlled burns. And that's probably when they would seemingly have the time, but we also have to have DNR sign off as well.
My throat for a fallback your direction too for that. It's probably not.
DNR loves burns.
If burning it becomes an issue, could we do, like, I know there's companies that bring in goats that'll clear property or something like that. Is that another alternative, or is that?
That brush is, I mean, if we get all the big stuff out of there, possibly, but I mean, goats don't eat
No, they
No.
can eat.
trees that big,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
and they're 6 feet tall, 8
Yeah.
feet tall.
They'll clear, well, buckthorn too.
We have some friends that did it on the lake.
My goats can
Insane
eat.
what they.
Well, I know they can eat, I just didn't know that they could actually eat trees that are
Yeah, we could talk, is it Ethan
higher than,
That's what comes to mind.
Weibel and, what's his?
Oh, and Bowden.
Bowden, yeah,
Yeah.
I think they do that. They're
Yes,
just a
they
few
do.
that come up. top of my
I
head.
think so too.
They'd be able to answer the question.
right, I mean, I think it's more of, we have to
It's
explore
kind
some
of a
options.
novelty approach. My cousin has done that,
It is a novelty.
you know, and it's
It'd be
like,
easier to
it's
burn.
cute to watch, whatever, but I'm kind of more.
Right, but how long-
machine-based.
How long would it take for them to do
Yeah.
roughly 80 acres?
You gotta keep
That's a lot.
fences, right?
There is
Oh,
no
is it
said
80
about
acres?
burning
Yeah,
does add
it's 60 and 20, so.
everything back into the soil,
Right.
so that's.
Well, ideas are always good.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
of
Be a
land.
great training opportunity for the fire department.
Oh, great.
I think so. They've got a lot of new firefighters on that.
So what doesn't happen if you don't keep it up is if you want to go up on Interstate 35 on the east side of the road, where Phase is, and then I own some property there where I have a display of a dock and both of them. So those are all clear cut every year, maybe
Mhm.
twice a year, all right? The property to the south of me, which we all purchased at the same time, never did anything. He has popple in there, 40 feet tall, this big in diameter.
Gross.
So the expense to clear his 5 acres now is gonna be horrendous.
Right.
As opposed to,
Just keeping up.
yeah, we brush cut it is what I call it. It's
Right.
Tall weeds.
Yeah,
And you do
yeah.
it
Most of
every year.
most of everything we drove through, minus the few like nice grassy areas, were, I mean, trees that big
Right.
around right now.
And even if you burn, you're still gonna have to do that, but whatever.
Right, I think it would be easier to maintain after.
I think we just need to start pecking away at it. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we get it
even
burned, so you
just
can
that
see what
up,
you have.
something you can see.
Buy your tall boots yet?
Yes.
Good.
Well, I have walked it before.
I've walked the whole time.
Yeah. There's a decent sized swamp in there. There is
Yeah.
definitely a decent sized swamp in there. And get stuck real quick. Speaking with the fire chief, they did a training up there and
There was remnants of a east-west field road in that property that they just kind of used, you know, in conjunction with the farm over the years, and that might be a basis or a location for an east-west.
I have a feeling that's where the grassy spot is, because everything else there was no, but it literally kind of the way it goes, and then it kind of leads to this pond that's there. So when you pull up, if you're able to pull up on Beacon, you don't have to have a login, and you go to the property. And then on the left-hand side, you'll be able to scroll down and click wetlands. You'll see that almost half of Orvis, or just shy of half of it, is wetlands. And that's
Wow.
where the surveys come into play, where there's specific cattails that can't be removed. There's very specific
Yeah, well,
So can you burn it
species.
then?
You know, that's typical Pine County land.
Right.
You buy 80 acres, half high, half low.
Yeah.
No matter where you buy it. It's just what it is. Recreational land, farmland.
Right.
yeah,
That's
they
pretty
expand-
typical.
Expand the wetland and, you know, and then, you know, there's some trade-off.
Good place to put rainwater.
Unless you get
Drain it
approval
too.
from the Army Corps.
Yeah, and then you have
They've
highland.
been really nice to us lately, so maybe they'll be on board.
Well, we just go over to, Brokema. They had nice highland there. Now they got an acre of pond swamp. So, no, you need that kind of stuff.
Right.
They had to dig a hole, put the water someplace, so. Okay, well, that's good, and I'm glad you reached out to her, because we did not have those records.
No,
So that really brings to light that there's some big issues here with prior whatever organization, that a lot of this valuable stuff we paid. You look at our professional fees, you wonder what those professional fees are in our costs. That's a lot of that. Land surveys
I
and
think there was 6 or 8 ginormous documents that Leslie provided me that I spent hours looking for in our system, and we did not have them.
Is that part of the whole
They're there somewhere, but
situation?
I'm pretty sure Leslie will back me saying this, that I can dig, and I've been able to find a lot of different stuff that hasn't been able to be found. These surveys and reports are not.
I actually think I have them.
I think you did as
You
well.
know, and I think, well, no, she copied me on it, so now I know I have them.
Yeah.
But if I look, I think I have them.
Is there a,
But I'm going like, I'm not saying my record's for the shitty, but this is a lot of expenses. Like, say you went to a different company, you didn't go to MSA or whoever.
Right.
They don't go check anything. They take your money.
yeah, is there a, and I don't know if this is possible or not, but is there like an online secure type of portal? Google Drive's coming to mind, but that's not necessarily what I'm implying, where like we could have a permanent file, if you will, for the EDA, where all this type of stuff
That we paid for?
that we pay for can be stored. So certain, well, it's gonna be public, it's public access, right? So is there somewhere where we can just store?
Can't share outside. We can't share.
But it would be all in one area in the city, so it would be viewable
so we'd have a place to go to
in one
find it
spot.
when we
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be our current working, you know, if we need to get access to stuff and as boards turn and whatnot, it's there versus trying to dig wherever it's magically hidden or buried
Right.
on the
I mean,
server.
you guys have a specific file on our system, and it's got tons and tons and tons and tons of information in it. None of these were in there. It's something we could talk with solution builders to see how to get them access, but currently, right now, we can't share a folder like that, a maintainable folder outside of our organization, because you have to have the Pine City MN.gov email.
Right, that's what I was saying, if we had a online type one, that would,
We
Right.
should be able to do it like SharePoint and then taking in OneDrive and out there when you need.
We're just barely.
I mean, what do you guys thought? If that's something that can be done, does that make sense? I don't know.
All I care is that somebody knows where it's at.
Spot.
And you gotta think that you may, retire, you may leave, whatever.
Right.
So who's the shepherd of all this stuff?
Right.
Well, yeah, they file it this way. Well, I file it this way. It happens all
We'll
the
figure
time.
it. I think we have another
More information we can make
readily available to the public, I support.
Right.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
And is this something you guys want?
That's not a
These,
secret.
all
This
these
is all
documents
stuff.
attached with the Orvis property on the city's website? Should they be there? I mean, I can add them.
It's more for our use, more than anything, when we develop.
Since we haven't done anything.
Utilize that property.
Yeah, I think anything that's related that we've got, I think there should be if you want to call it an Orbis property folder that has all this
I think so.
information on there.
I have that now.
Absolutely, right?
It's fine with me.
Keep it somewhere where it can be followed.
Oh, it's staying in that spot. I don't use anything outside of,
Till we change the
I
name.
should have all of that stuff. But I've accumulated that stuff from the meetings over the years.
God, we own this.
I
thing
should
now.
have or something. I should actually have a file cabinet where I organize all this stuff instead of, I've got about 50 pounds of this stuff.
Right.
And I can kind of dig from memory and
Yeah.
find stuff.
Yeah.
But I made a note to myself to just go through and clean it out.
Okay, so that's Orvis update. Thank you, Tabitha. I gotta get going here, guys.
8.1.
Budget,
Next year's
ED
budget.
budget book.
Attached, you're gonna find the current. And it's on here for you to get a look at, see what's on there. I really would like next month to really spend like a portion of our meeting on this. We can go over it. You'll see professional services, which was majorly put towards our services we use with Leslie. She's not with the city right now, so you want to look at that number, see where you want to adjust it to, and then other things on here. But this is for your visual and to go over, and then we'll bring it back next month and hopefully really kind of do some fine tuning with it.
Okay,
I do not think I'll be here next one. I think I'll be in Canada.
In August.
In August, yeah.
Yeah, if there's anything on here you have comments or concerns about, maybe just send an email so we can get that.
Yesterday, Marcy, we asked at HRA that you did the, kind of filled in the top, the wages and para and
Yep.
FICA and all that kind of fun stuff. Can we get that?
Yep,
for
by next month for
EDA?
sure, for sure. It's a pretty straightforward budget, so I don't think it needs to have a lot of time allocated towards it. But just an update.
alrighty.
Okay.
And 8.2, we already went
We already
through,
did.
right?
Yep. Anything for next month you would like to see?
Well,
We have a lot that's being brought back, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if we can get
Send me
that- if we can get that
Yeah.
RLF draft out well before the next
Yeah, it'd be
meeting,
nice
so
to
we have
get
time to
that.
review it.
Get
Yeah.
that.
And then I'll email you that updated CD resolution. Hopefully, there's a deal on. Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
Bye. Where are you going?
meeting adjourned.
Motion, second? Thank you, Josh.
I don't need that.
I'm saying.
I'm going down to Dodge.